wanna play rodeo. I'm the cowboy, you're the cow. That sounds like fun. Here's the rope to tie me up with.
Hey y'all, real quick before the video. I recently did a collab with Stage Hands In where we do a deep dive on the rise and fall of PBS Kids. Go check out his channel after the video and let him know Matt sent you. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe and help get this video to 4,000 likes.
And I say, hey!
Arthur and DW watch their neighbor Mr. Sipple get ready to move. Arthur explains how Mr. Sipple used to be so annoying that he even got on DW's nerves.
It's 9 in the morning and some of us are trying to hear ourselves sing.
Mr. Sipple packs up the last of his belongings, but not before gifting the Reed children with a singing fish.
Roll your boat gently down the stream.
DW becomes infatuated with the tone-deaf tuna and claims it as her pet, because I guess she's used to having pets that have already died. Trust me, I'll get to you later. DW beats Arthur in a staring contest and brags that she's the Stairmaster, which makes sense since she tends to walk all over her brother. Arthur demands a rematch when Pal gets into a barking match with a bulldog. You see, Binky? That's what a bulldog is supposed to look like. The bulldog freaks out DW by licking her leg, but sadly doesn't try to eat her. Turns out the dog belongs to their new neighbors.
We're the Molinas, your new neighbors.
I thought their last name was Vecinos. Wait a minute. I'm a dumbass. Mr. Molina invites the Reed family to dinner to meet their daughter Visita and his son Alberto, who's 5 years older than Arthur. DW delights at the idea of manipulating a young girl to be her protege.
He did it! It wasn't me.
Good.
The next day, Arthur and Buster watch Alberto from their bedroom window like a pair of creepers. Arthur worries he won't have anything in common with Alberto.
I'll be lucky if he doesn't give me a wedgie. What's that? I don't know.
Arthur, you wear grandma sweaters and Harry Potter glasses. You know what a wedgie is. Meanwhile, DW dreams of being Visita's senpai.
Here's the rope to tie me up with.
Nope, not touching that one. Dominatrix Winifred is overjoyed at the thought of having someone to boss around. She plans to kick Visita's ass at Tower of Cows and confuse the goose.
She probably doesn't even know what a goose is.
I can't tell if that's racist or ageist. Either way, shame on you. That night, the Reed family heads to the Molinas for dinner, while Arthur and DW bitch and moan all the way to their front door. Mrs. Reed tells her kids to shut up, as she's eager to make friends with adults who aren't her husband's fuck buddy. DW tries to sink her claws into Visita, only for the 3-year-old to run circles around her. They play a game of pick-up ticks, gross, and Visita wipes the floor with her. Though to be fair to DW, this game doesn't make any sense. If the objective is just to grab all the ticks, then it's not really a game of skill or chance. Whoever has the longest arms will always win. At least you get an even playing field with hungry hippos. Meanwhile, Arthur tries to act cool around Alberto. Guess how that goes.
Pretty cool stairs.
Bruh.
Alberto takes him upstairs, and Arthur fears what he'll find in his room.
Posters of rock groups, or even worse, posters of girls.
He's 13, Arthur. You should be way more worried about his room smelling like day-old ass. Surprise, surprise, it turns out Alberto is an even bigger nerd than Arthur. The two bond over their love of Bionic Bunny, while DW continues to get her ass handed to her by Visita.
You're the hot tomato.
DW is such a sore loser that she begs her mom to take her home. Before they leave, Alberto lends Arthur his Spanish comic books, leading the latter to experience his first man crush.
Alberto is so cool.
The next day, DW tries to boss around Visita on the trampoline, which would probably work if she was any good at gymnastics. Arthur starts to cling to Alberto like plastic wrap and lends him his walkie-talkie so they can keep tabs on each other every minute of the day. Wonderful. That night, Arthur tries to get Senpai to notice him.
Alberto, look out the window. What you doing?
He asks Alberto to translate the Spanish comics, because it's 2002 and Duolingo won't be a thing for another 10 years.
What does Conejo Bionico mean?
It's a Bionic Bunny comic. What the hell do you think it means? Though it's weird the Spanish name ruins the alliteration. They could at least call him Conejo Computerizado or Conejo Cibernetico. Arthur continues to pester Alberto as he has him translate the comic book word by word.
What does an L mean?
The, Arthur. It's the masculine form of the. Tu eres un cerdo hormiguero idiotico.
What?
I took 4 semesters of Spanish in college. I gotta use it for something. DW makes one last-ditch effort to break Visita by teaching her her favorite game. DW turns her back for 2 seconds, only to find her protege has mastered the relatively simple task of stacking plastic cows. DW calls it quits, and chews out Visita for daring to be better than her.
You were supposed to let me teach you how to do it. You're the worst student I've ever had.
Yeah, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Later that week, DW is bitching how she'll never have someone to boss around.
No paint like this.
While Arthur tries to invite himself to the cookout. Turns out the Molinas are having a private family barbecue, and Arthur can't seem to fathom why he's not invited. Mrs. Reed intervenes when her husband starts to get a hard-on for Mr. Molina's jerk-rubbed chicken. Yes, I know jerk chicken comes from Jamaica. Shut up. The next day, Alberto brings Arthur their leftover chicken, along with a Spanish to English dictionary, so Arthur can translate the comic books himself. Which is nice, until you realize this is Alberto's subtle way of telling Arthur to piss off and stop bugging him.
To tango, I've got you.
Meanwhile, DW is taking her plastic fish for a walk, as any sane child would do, when she spots Visita freaking out over her dinner.
The peas are touching the potatoes!
DW knows just what to do, because much like herself, sensory overload is a real bitch.
Green and white foods can never touch each other. It's a 3 7/8 thing.
Is that really the lesson you want kids to take away from this PBS? DW saves the day thanks to colorism, and finally gets the loyal Koi she was hoping for. Fan-freaking-tastic.
Will you show me how to blow bubbles and how to whistle?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Let's review. The Reed kids scared off their next-door neighbor and were hell-bent on doing the same thing to their new neighbors. Arthur pestered Alberto to no end when the older boy showed him a sliver of kindness. Arthur insisted they stay in touch and then called him persistently so Alberto could translate his goddamn comics. And Arthur only backed off once Alberto gave him the most backhanded gift imaginable. Meanwhile, DW spent the whole episode trying and failing to boss around a little girl, who was already superior to her in every conceivable way. She yelled in Visita's face when she refused to play by her rules and almost made the poor girl cry. And even when she inevitably won Visita over, she instantly regretted becoming her senpai, even though that's what she wanted in the first place. So, F you Arthur for sucking up to the one cool kid you know and using him as a human dictionary. And of course, for trying to boss around her new friend and then yelling in her face, F you DW.
And I say,
Hey, I have a Patreon. Sign up at patreon.com/mattneff to get your name in the thank you credits, along with early access to every FUDW and the chance to vote for future episodes. If there's a movie or show you'd like me to talk about, top-tier patrons can commission a review for my channel. Check out the link in the description to become an FUDW superfan. Also, I'm now on Cameo, so make sure to check out my profile to get a personalized FU video. Next time on FUDW...
Dad, why won't Spanky wake up?
oh, I think he's dead, honey.
Dad, well, when is he gonna stop being dead? He has to drink his tea. Is something dead?
And I say, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with